Okay, it's been a while since I've done uh, a video here, because I've had some, uh, I've had a death in the family recently, and it was really tragic. So I've had a tragedy in the family recently, and, so, so that, so because of this death in the family, I haven't been able to I haven't really felt like doing a video in a while, so I don't want to talk about that today. I do not want to talk about that today, and that's the last thing I want to talk about. But today, what I do want to talk about is, as you may know, we've had a ton of hurricanes hit this country recently, and it looks like Hurricane Irma is headed towards Florida, head around Florida, which is where I'm at right now. So Hurricane Irma is headed towards my state, and it looks like it's going to be on the, for now it looks like it's going to be like right on the east coast of Florida, like the center is going to be like right near the east coast of Florida, and I live in Tampa, so it looks like not in Tampa, but I live near Tampa. I live like less than an hour from Tampa, so it looks like I'm going to, for now it's too early to tell, but for now it looks like I'm going to get a shit ton of rain, and it's going to be, it's going to be really inconvenient for me. So, but it's too early to tell right now. That's days away. So it's too early to tell right now. But so Hurricane Irma is going to be around my state, and and here's one thing I wanted to talk about regarding hurricanes and all these hurricanes that have been happening lately, and all the destruction and damage and all the pain and suffering it has caused lately, and all this, and all the havoc it has wreaked or wrecked or whatever. I don't know how you say it, but so these hurricanes have been, causing a lot of destruction and causing a lot of grief and suffering lately, and these hurricanes all these hurricanes are just getting, the hurricanes keep intensifying with every year, and I just want to talk about that because when talking about hurricanes, here's how you can tell when someone is a total moron. Here's how to tell when someone is a total moron when they're talking about hurricanes. So you're talking to a guy about hurricanes, and they're like, I don't believe that global, they don't believe that global warming is like the cause of these hurricanes. I don't believe in global warming. There's no such thing. Global warming is a hoax. And there's no proof that global warming exists. There just isn't. And it's all a hoax, and there is no threat from global warming. It's all bullshit, and he doesn't believe in global warming. He thinks it's a bunch of junk science, and so. But then he says, "No, I believe the real cause of global warming is end times." And you ask, and you're like, end times? And he's like, yeah, because the end of the world is coming, and the rapture is going to come, and because we're living in end times right now, and any day, and sometime later on in our lifetimes, Jesus is going to come back, and he's going to take away all those who haven't sinned, and he's going to leave behind those who have sinned here on earth to suffer and go to suffer, and they're going to be left behind, and they're going to be left to suffer in misery. And this is end times, because the book of Revelations predicted that these hurricanes would happen during the end of the world, and the book of Revelations said that described these hurricanes perfectly. The book of Revelations described all of these intense hurricanes, and what they described is exactly what is exactly like what is happening right now. It's the same as what is described in the book of Revelations, because the book of Revelations predicted that that during end times, the hurricanes would intensify, and they accurately predicted that. So we're living in end times, and this is all the proof you need that the end of the world is coming, and we all need to pray, and we all need to find Jesus, and these hurricanes intensifying is more proof that the end of the world is coming, and that we're living in end times, and Jesus is going to be coming back soon, and we all need to pray, because we're living in end times, and the end of the world is coming, and Jesus is coming back. So let's see. Which is there more evidence of? Is there more evidence? Which is there more evidence of? Is there more physical, scientific evidence that we are living in end times, and that the Bible is 100% accurate, or is there more evidence of global warming? Let's see. I think if you looked at all the scientific data, I think if you looked at the consensus among the scientific community, it isn't 100%, but I would agree that I would pretty much say that the overwhelming majority of scientists agree that global warming exists. If you look up the NASA data, if you look up all the polls of all the scientists, most scientists agree that global warming exists. So there's actual evidence that global warming exists. The ice caps are melting. People are actually surfing ice caps that are melting. I've seen videos of this on TV. There's actual evidence that global warming exists, and the scientists have this evidence, otherwise they wouldn't believe that global warming exists. So there's evidence that global warming exists. There's no evidence whatsoever that end times is coming. None. Zero. Zilch. It just so happens to be a coincidence that the hurricanes that were described in the book of Revelations are the same as you know, are are pretty much, you know, extremely similar to what we're experiencing now. The hurricanes are intensifying, and it said in the book of Revelations that the hurricanes would intensify during the book of Revelations. So, yeah, it is a coincidence that it described, the same as what we're experiencing now, but that's just a coincidence. That's not proof. That's not actual evidence. There is zero evidence that we are living in end times, that the rapture is coming. There's zero evidence of that. And, I'm an agnostic. I'm not an atheist. I'm not going to say there is no God because I don't know that. So I'm not an atheist. I'm not an atheist. I don't know. I'm not going to say that there is no God because I don't know that there just might be a God, but there might not be a God. But what I do know is that there is zero evidence that that we are living in end times and that the book of Revelations is 100% accurate. There is zero evidence. As a matter of fact, there is zero evidence that the Bible is accurate. I mean, that's not to say that it isn't accurate, but there is no evidence that God exists. There just isn't. That doesn't mean that God doesn't exist, but there is no evidence that God exists. There just isn't. And that's just a fact. But that doesn't mean that God doesn't exist, but there is no evidence that God exists. That's just a fact. So you can go by actual evidence, actual scientific evidence, actual proof. You can go by what is right in front of you, or you can go by some book that was written by man. But I'm not saying that God doesn't exist, but the Bible was. There's no proof that the Bible was actually written by God. So I'm an agnostic, and I don't know if God exists. So you have to go by. So if you're going to go by, if you're going to believe something with zero evidence over something with tons of evidence, you're an idiot. Okay? I'm just saying, that's just a fact. Alright? Alright, that's all I have to say. Bye.